Hello and welcome to Heavy Metal Rex. My name is Awais, and today we're going to be talking about Cobb. Now, I had another video planned for today. I was actually going to go out. People have been asking me what are my impressions of the protune and how does it run, and some basic figures. Unfortunately, I was not able to do that today. As you can see, it has been raining all day. It's nighttime right now, but I mean, it started raining in the morning and it hasn't stopped. I'm hoping that tomorrow the day is a lot better. I want to be able to take the car out, talk about it, do some 0 to 60s, and just get some feedback for you guys. I know people have been asking, but we will get to that. What I noticed was that another video I wanted to make that I just almost kind of forgot to make was, my impressions on the OTS tune, which I did use for a couple of nights. I didn't actually have it on for the car very long, which is probably why I never really got a chance to go back and test it. I had the JB4 on for a lot longer, but what I did do was, if you guys have seen my other video, and if you haven't, I'll link it in the description, I actually did go race my buddy's Stage 2 OTS, MMA Performance OTS STI, and it was it was actually really good because his car was very close in power, and so I was able to get a really good feeling for how well the new car is doing with the OTS tune, and that's something we're going to talk about today. But one step at a time, if you are unfamiliar with Cobb's accessport, this is pretty much what most people are using to tune their Subarus and have been for many years up to this point as well. Previous models as well. If you look at much of my older videos, you'll see that in my 2021 WRX was also tuned. It had an etune through Cobb, and I did use the OTS for a little bit, just to, when you have it before you get your tune, you kind of have that itch to scratch, and so, which is exactly what ended up happening on my 22. I didn't have it on for a while. I was going out to collect some research data for myself, and I was like, you know what, I might as well throw it on, see how it goes, see how it feels. And it just like all of the previous generations, there is a sizable increase in speed and power, which is very nice. I mean, that's what you want. As you can see here, it's $725. I think it's like $100 more than what it used to be the year before. And compared to the JB4, the thing that I love about this is it's very easy to use. It's you plug it in, you click a couple of buttons, and you're good to go. And I mean, it really is that simple. And the installation is also much easier. Here is a quick video of me just showing you where I have it plugged up into the ODB, and then how I have it snaked through the little, I guess that's like a little coin collector, or I'm not sure what that is. So I just popped that out, just use that hole to bring the cable up, and I just double-sided taped it to the left side of the steering wheel. Very easy. And I mean, it's pretty much set it and forget it. That's how these things are, especially if you have a really good tuner that has tuned the car, pro-tuned the car, or even e-tuned it. You really don't have to worry that much about it. Now, when it comes to the OTS, there was a couple of things that were very interesting. The OTS is based off of the stock map, and I noticed that because the way that the dam reacted, and we talked about this in the protune video as well, when you were just cruising, it did drop, but then when you got back on the car, it brought it back up again, almost like it was dynamically adjusting what was needed, what the car needed. It's the best way I can explain it. We're actually going to be doing a whole separate section where I'm going to take some time and sit down with my tuner and talk about some of these things in further detail. There's going to be a lot of detail in that video. Not sure if that's something anybody wants to watch. I think it's really interesting information. But this, if you have a 2022 and you want a small bump in power, I don't think that there is any better price, like any better value for a part that you can get. You will hear a lot of people talk about how the OTS maps are like garbage and this and that, but like really, they're not. It's annoying to constantly hear people just shit on stuff just because it's not as good as what they have. And this is something that's been going on in this community for a long time. I remember when I got my 2021, I started looking around and asking people stuff like, what are your opinions on this? And everybody unanimously shat on the OTS tunes. Not like something that you would run forever, but like, with the crazy things that people do, it's weird that they want to gatekeep new people to the car community. Not that there's anything like, it's not the be all end all. Just throw the tune on it and just forget it. I mean, you kind of can. I mean, a lot of people Well, I can't really say a lot. That would be generalizing. But there are some people that I've met in the community that have had off-the-shelf maps on their cars for years, and they're okay with it because they don't want anything more than that. And what's the harm in that? And here's another example where, it does really well. And I want to try to compare this to the JB4. I don't have any exact numbers. I did get some virtual dyno numbers for the JB4, and it was like right around 310 horsepower. Now, Cobb has actually given us some information here of, actually I did pull up, they have this. They actually did pull up the actual information here, and I wanted to scroll through, and they went from 1800, where is it? So the maximum horsepower they got on 93 was, where is it? Right here. Whoops, I believe I have changed that. Oh goodness. What the hell? I changed that number. There it is. 298 horsepower. That's like pretty close to what the 93 map was on the JB4. I think the 93 map was like rated at 295, and I was getting right at 290, but that's also the different variances. I didn't have a dyno. I was just doing it on the street. And the torque they were getting was, I think, about 310, I want to say, or something along there. Oh, man. You know what? I color-coded it, and I think that it took my color coding off. About 310 is what they were getting in the torque on 93, which is, that is very respectable. The JB4 was almost identical on the 93 map. I think like 290, and maybe it was like 305. I'll have to go back on their website and check. But I mean, these two, the Cobb, so much easier. One plug, double-sided tape, you're done. Now, the JB4 did take a little bit time to install, but I think if you're only going to stay in that 300, like you're not looking to do anything else, and you just want a little bit more power out of it for the weekend for fun, both of these are great options. Now, the JB4 is a little less expensive. You can change maps on the fly, which is really nice. You cannot do that with the Cobb. With the new ECU being a little bit bigger, it's about like 6 or 7 minutes or so to actually flash the ECU, something to remember if you're, for whatever reason, constantly changing maps. I don't really know anybody who would be doing that other than myself, actually, which I actually have done that a few times already, switching between my E40 map and my 93 map, depending on what gas is available. But besides that, if this is a great option for you. It's simple. It makes good power, and actually, I've got a couple of clips. If you haven't seen the video that I did with my buddy's STI, here's a couple of clips. So right now he is running a MA Performance Stage 2 OTS map with an intake, a turbo back, and what they have it rated as on their website is about 330 horsepower, which is, I want to say, it's probably true because when we raced, you'll see here how close we were. Now this is him actually with launch control on, which that was a hard race for me to race because right now Cobb does not have the launch control on it for the 22s, and he's on the left. Of course, I'm on the right, and you can see it's even though he may potentially be 30 horsepower over what I was making, you see he didn't just run away. Like there wasn't a big gap between us, and once we both got the rhythm of it, we were pretty close. And here is, let me see, I have one for, so this is the first time we did launch control off, and fairly similar results. You see, without launch control, you see, I was able to get ahead right away because I'm launching at maybe 4,000, 4,500 RPM. But still, I mean, it still came down to the better driver, and in this case, not in the derogatory sense, just like whoever got the jump on the other. Because now if you look in this next video, I want to say, I think he was maybe ahead on this one. Let's see. You see, launches are almost identical. Yeah, it looks like I was able to get ahead of. Now you also have to remember, the VAs, STI is a little bit less, but they tend to heat soak a little bit more than the new 22s, and that's another thing that we learned when we were doing the tune was because of the bigger, the intercooler, they did not really heat soak. So let's see how this one goes. So this is a third roll on with no launch control, and you'll see here, like, I mean, you can see there is enough power. He can, if I'm doing poorly, if I'm like shifting early or something happens, or he gets really good shifts, you can see the power difference. But the idea of showing you guys these videos is to explain that, is to compare the power of these two cars. It's really close. For minimal money, no mods installed, and, you know, just a weekend of just plugging it up and practicing races. And even if you do end up getting an etune for like 150 bucks, that's still going to give you really good power. I'm sure, I think for like most of the etunes I've seen are at least over 300 horsepower for, again, no intake, nothing. You're not spending any other money. You're buying the access port, you know, 725, or unless you find one used, which I'm sure there probably are already access ports on Facebook Marketplace, used ones that you can buy for under 700 bucks. You're going to make over 300 horsepower, you know, maybe not like way over, but enough to where the car is fun. You'll be on 93, so you got your gas mileage. And it's, as you can see, you go race your friends, it's not that bad, right? Most cars out there, you know, unless people are dumping some money into their car, you know, are going to be about that 300 horsepower. So if you want to race your friends and have fun like that, like, this is a great option for you for this car. There are a couple of caveats, obviously, you know, like just making sure you learn how to read the access port, making sure you have the ability to monitor it, and it's something even I'm still learning, and once I can get really good at it, maybe I can make a video and show you guys. But, you know, just monitoring a couple of things here or there, you know, making sure your air-fuel ratio is good, you know, making sure your dam is actually in a good spot, because one thing you'll notice that if your dam is a little bit lower, it's not at 1, you will not be making full power. Another thing that we noticed, and that's probably why there's such a variety of dyno numbers out there for the stock car, because I feel like sometimes people are running them and they're not at full power, which is, again, I'm going to let my tuner explain it, because it is a very weird thing with these cars compared to any other WRX and STI that has come out before this. And that's pretty much it. I hope that this video helps you. I hope that you learned something from here, and I would implore you to do not be scared that it is a Subaru and that it will blow up. Cars don't just blow up. You know, sure, there are like weird happenstances where that can happen, but really it's up to you to take care of the car, and the car will take care of you. And installing something like this, oh, one last thing we got to talk about, I completely forgot about this, warranty. This is a question that comes up constantly, and everyone has this somewhat of a same answer. If you install this, do you lose your warranty? Yes, but not in the sense that like all of it is gone. Now, I'm sure there's many instances, and actually I want to do this. Actually, I want to pull together all of the known people on Reddit that have gone in for warranty work, because there is a full thread of, you know what, I don't know if it's on Reddit, I think it's on Naziok, which is another Subaru forum, where they have, for the last 6 years, people have been posting if their engine is blown up, what tune they were on, what parts they had, if they had to get warranty work, where did they go, how did it work. I think it's a really good resource. Now, it's not something that is the be-all, end-all for everything. Of course, your mileage may vary, but it's not like, oh, I plug it in, boom, all the warranty is gone. Obviously, things that are not power-related, your warranty is still intact, because it doesn't matter. Like, if your radio blows up and you take the car in and you have a Cobb access port, they're not going to be like, whoa, you can't fix your radio because you tuned your engine. And, you know, even other things in your engine, you know, that randomly blow up probably have nothing to do with them checking if there's a Cobb. So, again, your mileage may vary, but it still is somewhat of a gray area. You know, the shop that I work, or not the shop, the dealer that I bought it from, had so many people that tuned WRXs that also worked in the service department. So, you know, there's some, you know, nudge, nudge, wink, wink kind of stuff going on, but it depends on where you buy it. It depends on who you talk to. It depends on how friendly you get with your dealer. You know, that may be worth doing. If you have good people skills, you know, you're somewhat of a charmer, that might work out for you. So anyway, again, I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I do read every comment. I don't care how bad they are. I don't care how good they are. And I respond to all of them. If there's something that I missed in this video, let me know, and I will get that information to you. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the next one.